do, I kind of like to do like home sets, kind of like a Don Bluth movie. So it kind of like starts off kind of, dark, and then it's nice at the end. Littlefoot will make it to the Great Valley, I know.
That's an old person doing it.
This one's short. It's the tooth's need for flesh, a desire to see bone, to see what is hidden below the surface. Sometimes the bite marks I leave behind are never deep enough to satisfy the craving, like a beetle gnawing the last bits of sinew. I slither my tongue to the bottom of a smudged glass, and this is where things get ugly. Why won't the phone start ringing? I threw it in the corner like a punished child after the last message I left on your answering machine, then stocked the bar stools for substitutes, collecting phone numbers of your replacements like hungry flypaper. I've numbed the lights off, forgot to set the mood, threw his clothes in a pile, fumbling and frantic like I was caught in a river current, grasping at anything. The next morning, my bed is a raft, popping sleeping pills like blisters the sun doesn't deserve to see. Faces like mine were built for nights of regret. You still haven't called me back. I drag razors across my sins. Sometimes I pick scabs until they bleed red watercolor in the bathtub. I feel nothing. After emptying another bottle, my throat explodes into a rasp like a broken wasp's nest. There are hooks in my spine. I thread a single string through each one and tighten my face muscles so they can stand upright. This is the posture of someone who can handle anything. The strings snap constantly. There was nothing more I wanted than for you to be unhappy. It never seemed fair that I should carry all the bruises. Here's another poem. Now, this one is, well, I don't want to do an intro to this poem. You'll just see. And it's really dark. But I promise, next one will not be bad. He goes to work. Evening shift, rush hour, 22 stations, 77 miles of track, 35,000 travelers a day. Caltran number 271, a battleship's worth of steel and velocity. He says a prayer that tonight won't be another morning headline, that silhouettes will scatter like ravens in the road. Too many close calls make his occupation held breath anticipatory, not a matter of if, but when. As a child, nobody told him how many times Mr. Conductor wipes splattered red remains off Thomas's face, or that it takes more than a mile and over 10 seconds before the brake banshee screeches the wheels to a standstill, 10 seconds to wait for the now familiar sound of sledgehammer over soft watermelon fates, laid out in tracks he can't steer away from. He passes San Bruno, Millbrae, Burlingame, each time opening the doors with a ghost-like whisper, helping the masses get home, waiting for the moment where the railroad X marks the spot where the chain-link fence holds half-inflated balloons and dying bouquets, where cleanup crews collected scattered doll parts to identify more suicides this year than any time in the railroad's history. He passes Sequoia Station, Atherton, and this bullet hits its mark every time. He's seen so many final moments, you'd think death was a co-worker, a spectator in a decision so personal, some don't leave behind a noted explanation just a split second before stepping in front of a guaranteed traveling at over 100 miles per hour. It's his job to take people places. He only wishes he didn't take them to their graves, doesn't want to be another person's salvation, wishes he could forget, seeing eyes wide and relaxed before impact knocks bowling pin limbs down the track. 10 seconds can feel like an instant, but it's enough time to scar face into memory and realize there is nothing he can do but remind himself he is not a murderer. He is the bullet, the razor, the noose. Still responsibility weighs in 2-ton steel sobs and parental pointed fingers, searching for someone to blame when their teenage sons and daughters are killed by a train led by a human heart. He wants to know why he bears these track marks, only pretends tonight won't sound hollow and metallic, just the rhythmic hum, just the ringing bells as he passes the great crossing gates. It's 10 p.m. between California Avenue and San Antonio Station, and in the distance, he sees her. He starts counting. 1, 2, 3, blows the horn with trained optimism. The red emergency lever at his right side, a limp possibility. 4, 5, 6, blows the horn a second time. Knows she will cause ripples when she becomes the next rail spike. 7, 8. He wants to know her name as she waves goodbye, but he just turns his head and waits. All right. I remember the day when my world became small. He opened up his laptop computer to reveal his background photo, purple sky, sea salt stars, soft surf swirls. I said, "It's beautiful. Who painted it?" He replied, "It's not a painting at all. It's a photograph taken from the edge of the Milky Way, and those 3 swirls are galaxies, and the bright white lights are planets we haven't found names for yet. You know, sometimes the universe seems so much bigger than I am, and everything just keeps expanding. Like a Big Bang's prophecy, we begin as nothing but a spark and keep growing until our bodies can't contain our potential. It's simple, as connecting the dots in the sky or the freckles on your forearm. Do you see the connection? In Egyptian mythology, the goddess Nut is depicted as a naked blue woman covered in constellations, and as a child, I got lost in the hours I spent watching ants marching down the sidewalk, so small. But to them, life itself is a fact, a vocation. Little Miss Sunshine. Do you know the history of the moon? Do you know what happens when the asteroids leave behind scars she can't hide? Her face is not ceramic, but a damaged relic of her past. This doesn't make her any less beautiful. And instinct isn't just what we feel, but what we have to do. And sometimes I have to scream, for every time I've been told to shut up, and other times I just want a baby so I can give birth to a universe and watch it expand. I want to pretend I am so much bigger than this. But it's just as likely that I'm just a freckle on someone else's hand. Don't place yourself at the center, as if everyone can revolve around your experience, because we are molecules made up of molecules, small sparks born to blaze. If only we knew where we were going. Instead, we just keep moving, letting the comet tails take us where they may, make believing we have some sort of control over our destinies. But here we are, lonely stars trying to light our own way. I am flickering. When I blaze and burn out, what sort of answers will you give me? Don't tell me it's easy to destroy meteors when you haven't seen the ones that ricochet inside me. There is no day without night, no ending without beginning, no big bang without the silence that precedes it, that small moment before a scream. Maybe we are all exactly where we need to be. Our pain something to express instead of swallow sunshine. They want to call you positivity, but even staring at the sun long enough will blind you eventually. Life isn't ours to control, but to experience each and every moment from pinprick to pelvic split. We are growing, we are expanding, we are changing, we are stars, we are science, not art projects. Strength and weakness interwoven into a thread and a quilt pattern so much larger than we will ever know. So the next time you're faced with moments that break you, realize it is those moments that shape you. Take your place in the sky, become a constellation blaze, burn out, and become another flickering spark for someone else to make a wish upon. Thank you.